Good afternoon and welcome to Mijas International interview section. Now, people always say that this area, the Costa del Sol, and especially Mijas, attracts lots of artists and sculptors and photographers because of the special place that it is and the light. So today we're talking with artist Elaine Carlton, and she's a textile artist, and she also belongs to the Artistas Eclécticos, and this is a group of professional international artists who exhibit across the world and of course join together here in Andalusia and exhibit locally. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is that right? You're attracted to the different light that's here? It inspires you?
Absolutely. I find that the blue skies, the wonderful sea, the light, the reflections and so on are just absolutely stunning. And I think they probably inspire people that aren't very artistic even. It's just fabulous.
Yes, probably. Yes, yeah. Which is probably why a lot of people do go up to the Mijas Arts Centre and go for all the different courses.
Yes,
yes. That's true. Now, you exhibit locally, Elaine. Perhaps to just explain how you all got together as artists.
We met at a variety of different functions because obviously we all had the same interests, and people then came and looked us up because they were interested too. So we formed the group several years ago now, and it's a little bit of a fluid group because some people don't live here all the time. Sometimes they go away and exhibit elsewhere, but there are 12 of us altogether within the group, and there are always usually about 6 of us exhibiting at any one time, 6 or 7 of us.
Okay, and you do have an exhibition coming up, which is at the Folk Museum, don't you?
That's correct.
I think there's quite a few of you involved in that.
Yes, there's 6 of us involved in that exhibition. We also have one at the present moment as well that's at the tourist office in Mijas.
We're just looking at some of those now. Wonderful exhibition and very varied.
Very, very varied. I mean, that's one of the great things about our group. Nobody does the same type of work as each other. It really is very, very interesting. This is one of my pieces that's on at the moment.
Yes.
And this has been, if you like, thread painted. It's all been done on a sewing machine. I do it on a sewing machine. But other members of the group work in pastels, oils, acrylics, painting on silk, watercolours. It is very, very varied.
Yes, it is. I love the fountain.
Yes, isn't it beautiful?
Well, really lovely.
Really nice.
And look at that one.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, there's some really great pieces of artistic work there between you all.
Yes.
And of course we can look forward to this other one, which is the 18th of December.
That's correct. And in fact, at 8 o'clock on the 18th is our inauguration. So if anybody is able to come up to Mijas Pueblo, to the Cas Museum, it'd be really nice to see them there as well.
And which part of the group are exhibiting?
There's Sinikka, who paints on silk. She's a Finnish lady. Gunva, who comes from Norway, and she paints mainly in acrylics. She's done some wonderful Norwegian landscapes which are on show at the moment in the tourist office. Richard is exhibiting with us. It was his watercolours that you could see a moment ago. I'm not quite sure what he's going to exhibit there because we have a larger space. So he may exhibit some of his oils. Margit is exhibiting, myself, and also Jane, who lived for a long time in the Balearics. She's the watercolour artist that we've also just seen.
Okay. So quite, again, it'll be diverse.
Yes, it will be diverse. I think it's always interesting, the work that we put together.
Yeah. Now, taking a look at your works, yourself, you are a textile artist. Why were you attracted to that style of medium?
I've always worked with fabrics. My grandmother I didn't know, but my mother always worked with fabrics. She used to make clothes for me when I was small, and I've always been interested. I've just loved the feel of fabrics. And then I went on to teach the subject for 40 years in England. So it's really only been in the last 10 years that I have begun to do my own work and exhibit my own work, and I just love it. I just really, really do.
Taking time out for yourself.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
In fact, my latest work uses some of my grandmother's things. I still have some of my grandmother's laces and threads and fabrics. So I've been doing a series of work called Abuela's Treasures because I don't know whether they or not my daughter would ever use them. So I've been putting those in some pieces at the moment.
Oh, lovely.
So,
I mean, we've seen some of your works, as you say,
yes.
and with the textiles and with the wonderful colours that you use as well. Quite vibrant.
Yes.
Yeah.
I made a mistake a few years ago because I did some work over here for an exhibition back in England, and I thought over here it looked absolutely fine, but the colours were so vibrant. When I got back to Britain, it was dreadful. I think you needed sunglasses to actually look at them because they were so bright. So they ended up on a plane back here.
Oh, well, that's a shame because actually, you know, I always think the first time I went abroad, I was about 18, and I looked at the UK in a different way then. I looked at the UK and the colours of the sky and the grass and everything as watercolours, and I looked at places like Spain and Switzerland as oils.
That's really interesting. Yes,
Yeah.
I can really see that.
Yeah, deeper colours.
Yes, but sometimes in England, when you look at the sky, I feel like it hasn't been painted in that day because it's so grey or so pale.
Yeah.
I feel like it needs to have a lovely bright blue put on it, and then everywhere would look better.
Yes. That's why you should have kept some of your paintings there, the bright ones. Now, you exhibit prolifically around here,
Yes.
this area. So where can people normally see your works?
I have a solo exhibition on at La Luna, which is a lovely restaurant in Mijas Campo, and they only have my work there at the present moment. And it's a lovely large space. It's a beautiful restaurant, really lovely food, but it's a lovely large space, so it shows my work, I feel, really, really well.
Yeah.
So,
And you're inspired by not just landscapes, but other things as well, aren't
yes, totally. I mean, certainly I am inspired by landscapes. I've been doing an awful lot recently that are based on Mijas area and even on the buildings, which I'd never done buildings before. The sea is a great passion of mine too. I love doing seascapes. But yes, I've been doing a lot more things recently on things like tree bark.
Oh, right.
And
why have you chosen that subject?
well, during the summer, I work very much with light fabrics, but during winter, when it's cold at home, I like to work on woolen fabrics. So I have a machine that works on thick fleece-type fabrics, and I do a lot of felted pictures, and they lend themselves very much to the sorts of patterns that I find in tree bark. And then I do machine embroidery on that as well, and then I bead them, and so on. So.
Okay. Have you anything else to add about the exhibitions and about the artists group?
I would just like to say that there is another venue where some of the artists are exhibited at the moment individually, and that is the Norwegian Church, which is in Calahonda. One of our members who lives in Paris quite a lot of the time, Goon, has got an individual exhibition there.
And what does Gunn specialise in?
Gunn does quite a lot. Her work is very, very different. She was, a long time ago, she was a textile person. She designed fabrics. So some of her work is very much on fabric design. And I think earlier on there was a picture of called Zebra, which was one of her designs.
Yes, I saw that. It was lovely.
But she also does work that is involving plaster. And she does two-dimensional work, but it has a 3D effect, often with plaster, in whites and blues. So she's always very interested in the things that she does, and she does watercolours too. Her exhibition is followed at the Norwegian Church by Sinica, who is, I know, I've seen some of the work she's doing. She's doing some more exhibitions with painted on silk, and her work is lovely. She has an opening on the 19th of January. She's exhibiting 19th of January till February the 10th. And Gunn's exhibition is the month before that, but the opening is at 12:30.
Oh, okay, lovely. Thanks very much, Elaine.
Thank you very much, Karen.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really appreciate